Viertelfinale. Es wartet der BDO-Weltmeister aus dem Jahre 2014. Seit 2015 ist er auf dem PDC-Circuit unterwegs. Er hat Premier League-Erfahrung gesammelt und erscheint hier in Hamburg so eine Art Comeback zu feiern. Wir drücken ihm weiterhin die Daumen. The Bullet, Stephen Bunting! Stephen Bunting nimmt es mit dem erfolgreichsten Spanier in der Sportart Darts auf. Als er bei der WM 2015 das Achtelfinale erreichte, da schrieb er spanische Darts-Geschichte. Er hat im Achtelfinale einen der Top-Favoriten aus dem Turnier geworfen mit Peter Wright. Wir sind gespannt, was er hier noch weiter zeigen wird. Aus der Urlaubsinsel Teneriffa. Herzlich willkommen, the Spartan, Cristo Reyes!
A huge opportunity for these two men who find themselves in the final session of action here at the Happy Bet European Darts Match Play. For Cristo Reyes, it is a first. So many times he's been thwarted in the third round, often by Michael van Gerwen or Peter Snakebite Wright. But he finally claimed his first career victory over Wright earlier on this afternoon, beating the world number 3 in a deciding leg. Can he make the most of it? As for Stephen Bunting, well, this is the first quarter-final of any sort he's been in for 8 months. It has been a drought for Bunting, and it stretches much further than 8 months when we're talking about the levels of performance that we came to expect from the man who dominated the BDO and had a stellar first year in the PDC. He does have 2 PDC titles to his name, but that is nowhere near what Stephen Bunting expects of himself. Is this the renaissance of the Bullet? Can he go on and continue the heroics we saw from him early on in his win over Kyle Anderson with 103 average? He was in tears on stage earlier.
First leg, Cristo to throw first. Game on.
But it's the Spaniard Cristo Reyes who throws first in this one against Stephen Bunting. Rob Malarkey has joined me, Dan Dawson, in the commentary box.
Yeah, Cristo Reyes, the conqueror of Peter Wright. Stephen Bunting, the conqueror of Jelle Klaassen in the second round. And Reyes looking to make the most of this opportunity, isn't he? Firing off with a 182. Give Stephen Bunting something to think about. But Bunting, no shortage of 180s from these two this afternoon. 7 apiece in their respective matches. And look at that for a start. 1 apiece here already.
Well, Stephen Bunting nearly gave us a 9-darter earlier on as well. He missed double 12 for it. It's the third time that's happened this weekend, incredibly. This weekend in Hamburg has been as close as we've come in any Euro Tour to breaking the curse of Ross Smith that has lasted for 4 years. Not a single perfect leg in that time, since Ross Smith hit one in Gibraltar against A.D. Lewis in 2013. But Stephen Bunting, I mean, he nearly produced one in Gibraltar last time out of the Euro Tour as well. Something has changed for Stephen Bunting. And talking to his manager earlier, it may be some work he's been doing with a sports psychologist.
41.
Just the last 2 or 3 months, Bunting just doing some work with a professional to try and change his mindset. So often we're told by players that it's what's in between the ears that is the most important thing. And maybe if he can just find some way of putting that right, maybe he has found some way of putting that right, Stephen Bunting.
Cristo, you require 131.
Things could be rosy again.
.99. Stephen, you require 135.
Well, 135 for Bunting means he starts on the bullseye. Treble 20. Unable to find it. May look at the ball here. Yeah, he
95.
does, and he hits it as well.
Cristo, you require 32.
He's had some big checkouts this weekend as Stephen Bunting, but he couldn't find one there. Reyes
second leg, Stephen
closes the deal for 1-0.
Game on.
He had that 1-2-5 checkout against Klaassen in round 2 for a break of throw in the second leg.
59.
That actually levelled the match because Klaassen was out of the blocks quickly in that one, but Bunting found more. And a 1-1-7 checkout for a 5-2 lead, and from that moment on there was never much prospect of a way back for Jelle Klaassen, who looked very downbeat at the time.
Well, it's been comfortable wins for Stephen Bunting so far this weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah.
6-3 against Kenyan Ayans. It could have been even more. As he fires in another 180. 2 for this game for Bunting. 9 today from the bullet.
Vincent van der Voort went home with 15 180s under his belt.
100.
Bunting challenging. There were 11 in the match between Reyes and Wright earlier.
98.
Yeah, put that in some context as well. The record on the Euro Tour for most 180s in a game is 9. That is jointly held by Darryl Gurney and Michael Smith. We've seen a number of players throw 7 in a game, including these 2 this afternoon. We've seen players throw 7 in a game this weekend and lose. A.D. Lewis for 1. And look at this Bunting. Well, it doesn't need to go the bullseye route, so he's just looking to set it up, and that's exactly what he's done. So Stephen Bunting in with a very good shout of levelling this match at 1 apiece.
$58. Stephen, you require 24. Game
1 apiece. If you are just joining us, by the way, the winner of this will face Mensur Suljovic in the semi-finals later this evening. Suljovic beating Dave Chisnell in our opening quarter-final. Suljovic on course for a 2nd European Tour crown. Having lost in the final in Gibraltar last time out as well. He's
81.
Gone deep in this tournament once again. He's making something of a habit of this over the last, well, yeah, really, and a bit.
The Euro Tour stage is
134.
His domain now.
Yeah, it really is. Absolutely adores it. First time these 2 have met on a big stage. Their 4 previous meetings have all been in the meccas of
85.
darting action that are Barnsley and Wigan on the Pro Tour. And even though Stephen Bunting won the most recent one back in October, the other 3 are all run by Christo.
180.
And that is a 4th 180 of the game, 2 apiece.
Christo's paying no attention to head-to-head records anymore, though, Dan, after beating Peter Wright earlier today.
97.
Oh, I think so. His first win in 8 against Snakebite. Treble 17. Treble 18. Double 8. 12 data for Christo Reyes, and back into the lead.
First game on.
Well, Christo Reyes has been just
60.
steadily getting better ever since he turned up and made his PDC debut at the World Championship of all places. Did enough there to win his tour card, and then has committed himself to playing the full tour, and he's gradually started getting better. He started making last 32s, then it was last 16s, then it was quarterfinals. Has made PDC semi-finals, still looking for that first appearance in a final.
22.
Just the 22 from Bunting opens the door for Reyes. First Spanish player to make the top 32 of the world rankings, ranked 30 at the minute. Christo Reyes.
Yeah, and you feel, having claimed that particular milestone as well, it's just maybe given him a new lease of life.
100.
But yeah, he's had 2 tough encounters this weekend. Peter Wright 6-5, Nathan Aspinall 6-5 as well. And, well, that Aspinall match could easily have gone against him, but he's in the money once again here.
125. $58. Christo, you require 108.
Well, this is a great opportunity for a break of throw for Christo Reyes. 51 away.
76.
Nudging the wire.
Well, it would have been back-to-back starters, but he knows he's going to come back and get 3 darts at that double 16 for a break of throw and a 3-1 lead. And Stephen Bunting paying the price for a poor scoring leg, and it's not got any better for him. Still not down to a finish after 5 visits. And that'll do.
Yeah, comfortable for Christo Reyes.
5th leg, Christo to throw first. Game on.
Well, remember when we introduced Reyes onto the stage yesterday, we mentioned the fact he has had 4 third-round appearances on the European Tour this year. And we just questioned when
96.
that elusive breakthrough would come. It's come this weekend, but he wants to go even further now.
Well, he's been constantly stuck, Christo, hasn't he, in that seeding position of 15 and 16, facing Michael van Gerwen and Peter Wright, and he's been doing that in the floor tournaments, and often it means that he's losing to the eventual winner, not in the quarters and the semis and the finals. He's losing to them in the last 16 earlier on, and it's stopping his progress up the rankings because he keeps hitting that barrier. The only way you do it is to break through it, and he's done that today by beating Peter Wright, and now he needs to go on
60
and win again and again and make the most of it and start shooting up those rankings. And it may well get a little bit easier for Christo. Success begets success.
And this is getting easier now
180
because he's opened up another cushion.
It could have been 3, 12, 13, 13, and that is world class. He is currently averaging 110. Christo Reyes. If you doubted how good a player Christo Reyes was, watch this. Watch this. Watch him at the World Championship, where once again Christo ran into Michael van Gerwen early in the tournament through the highest losing average we had ever seen at a World Championship, and was beaten. He has been showing he has the capability to play world-class darts, but he has been very unfortunate because he keeps running into the absolute top boys early on in tournaments.
Look at the differentials there as well. That is why Stephen Bunting's in a spot of bother here, although this will do him the world of good.
140.
Okay, ton 40.
That 121 first 9 average for Christo Reyes is right up there with what you would expect from the very best
97
players in the world.
And that overall average of 107 is eye-catching as well. There we see the darts per leg.
140.
Makes great reading for Reyes fans and Reyes backers this afternoon, or this evening I should say.
Oh, Christo.
Come off it.
140.
Well, 1040 is enough to get him to a finish. It's a bit easier for Stephen Bunting. It's been a better leg from the bullet. Another one of those. Oh, he didn't stay straight.
82.
Frustrating for Bunting.
164.
Well, if this goes, and it could well go, it could well go. Christo Reyes, what a hammer this would be.
139.
Well, I was just going to say, if this goes, there'll be no way back for Bunting, surely. But 58 here to trim the deficit to 4-2. And that's exactly what he's done. Could have been a very, very different story. Could have been 5-1. 4-2 looks more manageable, but back on the Reyes throw, Bunting still needs to find a break.
100.
And Reyes is not in the mood to give him anything.
Well, no, he's still averaging around about that 109 mark. Look, Stephen Bunting at the back end of last year was so down and so
59.
dismayed at his own performances over the last couple of years, really. He was genuinely looking for jobs. He was talking about packing in the game of darts. This is a former world champion and world master man who's won a couple of PDC titles and still, ranked 21 in the world. The rankings say there are only 20 dart players in the world better than Stephen Bunting.
100.
And yet he was thinking about packing it in because he just wasn't able to do what he wanted on a dartboard. Now, right now, he is getting a bit of a schooling from Christo Reyes. But there have been signs this weekend, and this afternoon was the biggest one of the lot. Certainly the best performance I've seen from Stephen Bunting in months and months and months. And it evidently resonated with him because he was in tears saying how much it meant to him to perform like that on the big stage. So there's a lot of positives to take, but unfortunately Christo Reyes cares not for sentiment and is looking to grind Stephen Bunting into the dirt here in Hamburg.
Well, he takes out the bullseye anyway. And he's left on tops.
58.
I just think having missed the 164, he might have fancied the 170, had the chance come along, but tops here for a 5-2 scoreline.
Games from the 7th leg.
Absolutely deadly on the doubles, isn't he? He is not doing a great deal wrong. He's doing very little wrong, in fact.
Christo Reyes is doing pretty much everything right.
5 from 7 on doubles.
Yeah, and 110
140.
Sorry, 5 from 8.
Look at that. If Michael van Gerwen was doing this, we'd be going absolutely berserk. And I'm not going to hold back. This is world class. This is elite level darts. This is the sort of stuff that can take Cristo Reyes not just to the title here tonight, but all sorts of things in the world of darts if he can repeat these kind of performances.
Yeah, who knows where this might lead. Well, he's giving Mentor Sulovic backstage plenty to ponder as well at the moment.
$85.
Well, Stephen Bunting has only been allowed 3 darts at double in this game by an absolutely stunning display from Cristo Reyes. He's still fighting Bunting. Oh, it's really good. 171 to leave the 132 from Bunting. The crowd trying to lift him. Hugely popular Stephen Bunting.
100. Stephen, you require
doesn't need to use the ball route here, so may just start on treble 20. That would be the sensible way to go, but, well, he's gone for the ball and end up hitting the 7.
92.
Well, that'll do, though. He's ended up leaving himself double top.
Yeah, he's tidied that up very well indeed, but this
55.
is merely for a holder throw.
Stephen, you require 40.
But needs to find
Games from the 8th leg. Stephen Bunting.
double 10 to prolong it for Reyes here.
Look, this isn't bad from Bunting. The average has climbed to the mid-90s now, and he is still finishing pretty well. But against a man averaging 108, it hasn't been quite enough so far. However, he is not out of it just yet.
100.
Look at that. Really neat and tidy stuff. Well, better than neat and tidy, that middle surge from Cristo Reyes, where it could have been 3 12s in a row. In the end, it was 12, 13, 13. Only the one leg of darts lasting longer than 5 visits to the board. Very, very impressive stuff.
100.
And Mensur Suljovic is going to have his hands full with whoever comes through this game. It looks, for all the world at the minute, like it's going to be Cristo Reyes, but there's still a little way to go. And with Cristo,
100.
having not been in this position before in a big stage tournament, you know, within touching distance of a semi-final, he's got to get over the line. He's got to ride the nerves. But his progress has been so steady in his professional darts career in the PDC. You feel that he's ready to do this.
Well, Bunting can do without visits of 45 right now.
140.
And Reyes has just exacerbated that with a ton 40 to get down to 101. Even if he doesn't hold here, he still has another opportunity to come, should it go that far. And, well, Bunting just isn't registering anything significant here at
90.
all. Okay.
Cristo, you require 101.
Well, he's down to a bogey number anyway, so
6 darts from 101 for Cristo Reyes for a place in the semi-finals, and he can just look to set this up now.
35.
Oh, well, okay. It's not the end of the world, but it may mean he only gets 1 match dart. Just a single 10 there would have meant he pretty much guaranteed 2. Just those little pieces of fortune
100.
can
Cristo, you require
have disproportionately large effects on games. It is only 1 dart. It's a double 18.
48.
And it is missed by
Stephen,
Cristo Reyes.
66.
well, if Stephen Bunting can just force the issue, it may just play with the mind of Cristo Reyes. Double 10 for double 18.
48.
And he's come inside, and Reyes gets
Cristo,
another
you require
opportunity,
18.
this time at double 9 for a 6-3 lead and a first
Oh,
Euro
my
Tour
word.
semi-final. What's he
He
done
wanted
there?
a 2 to leave double 8, and he's missed the big number and
Thank
left
you.
himself 3. It is 1 double 1, and it has to be nerves. It has to be white line fever for Cristo Reyes. Madhouse.
No score. Stephen,
Well,
you require 18.
I mean, it was some way inside that bet as well, but yeah, absolutely, just purely and simply down to nerves. Bunting given a massive lifeline here, and will that play on the mind of Cristo Reyes? Well, Bunting still has to find double 4,
14.
and it's just turning into that
Cristo,
sort of
you
encounter
require
now.
18.
Surely he won't miss the single 2 this time. Surely. No, he does not. And he doesn't miss the double 8 either. Cristo Reyes.
Cristo Reyes.
It is turning in to the weekend of his life in PDC darts. Averaging over 100, it was up in 110 for large parts of the game. He ends Stephen Bunting's run, but it's been a big weekend for the Bullet as well. However, it could turn out to be enormous for the Spartan. The greatest player ever to come from Spain is in the semi-finals and will face the top player from Austria, Mensur Suljovic, for a place in the final of the Happy Bet European Darts match play. That is one half of the draw, done and dusted in the quarters. We now turn our attention to the other half. Michael Van Gerwen faces Peter Hudson, but before that, it is Michael Smith and Joe Cullen squaring off here in Hamburg in front of 2,500 delighted Germans.